So listen to this. When it comes to the stock of Aduro Clean Technologies, the cat is out of the bag. The secret is out. About a week ago, the long investor, an account on X with 144,000 followers, tweeted, "Aduro, you have my attention." Since then, the stock is up quite a bit, but this is nothing compared to how much the stock is going to go up over the next few years. The recent attention from investors is quite the contrast from the time when I started talking about Aduro Clean Technologies in 2022. Back then, it was like pulling teeth trying to get people to look at Aduro. They refused. They didn't want to listen. I would say, look at Aduro. This stock will make you a millionaire. They would say,
"No, God, please, no, 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 no!"
I literally have to shove Aduro down their throats. Today, we have multi-billion-dollar companies paying attention. We have investors like the long investor paying attention. We have big YouTubers like 2-Bit Da Vinci making videos about Aduro. And we have analysts giving the company a price target of $50 per share, which is 10 times from the current levels. My name is Mariusz Konieczny, and I've been investing in the stock market full-time for 16 years. I'm also the founder of microcapexplosions.com, which is a private membership for small and microcap stocks. We find stocks like Aduro before they become popular. One of the reasons why investors refused to pay attention to Aduro in 2022 was because the company's stock was trading on the Canadian Securities Exchange, and it was also a penny stock. Most investors do not even know that the Canadian Securities Exchange even exists, and many brokers do not even allow people to buy stocks on this exchange. And penny stock?
No, God, please, no, 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 no!
You see, today, Aduro's stock is above $5 per share, so it is not considered a penny stock anymore. However, in 2022, the stock was trading below $1 per share. This was before the share consolidation. Most investors have this attitude about penny stocks.
No, hate it, stupid.
They literally think that making money with them is like monopoly money. The gains are not real until they come from a Tesla stock, Palantir stock, or Amazon stock. So when I would tell them the world is swimming in plastic waste, Aduro has the best plastic recycling technology in the world, and when people discover this company, the stock will soar because this is a solution to a $1 trillion problem. Nobody else has a better plastic recycling solution. There is nobody that can come even close to what Aduro has. They would say,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
the turning point in attitude came in November 2024 when Aduro listed its shares on NASDAQ. After uplisting to NASDAQ, that attitude went from
We don't care
to
Are you serious? Continue.
After the uplisting to NASDAQ, all investors, not just some, were finally able to buy the stock. Also, Aduro finally was able to receive analyst coverage. On May 6, 2025, Deboro Capital initiated the coverage and gave Aduro a price target of $50 per share. You see, at that time, the stock was trading for $5 per share. So the price target was 10x the trading price. This is unusual because analysts are usually afraid to give price targets that are so high above the stock price. Actually, I made a video about this and explained how this $50 price target was actually too low. So what is the upside? How about you tell me what the upside is? What is the upside of a company that has a cure for cancer? And by the way, nobody else has the cure. What is the upside of a company that has the monopoly on making cars? Meaning, your company is the only company that can make cars. The upside is pretty big, isn't it? Huge. Well, here it is. This is Aduro Clean Technologies. If Tesla owned Aduro's technology, people would literally assign an extra $1 trillion valuation to Tesla's market capitalization. I have no doubt about it. Look, the plastic pollution problem is huge. Less than 10% of plastic is being recycled. And this is not because the world doesn't want to recycle plastic. It is because the current technologies are not solving the problem. So what happens is this. They make plastic, we use it, maybe we drink it out of a plastic bottle, we throw it away, problem solved, right? No. Somebody has to collect it. This costs a lot of money. Somebody has to ship it to a landfill or some other country. This costs a lot of money. And do you think it is free just to dump all this plastic waste in a landfill? No, it also costs money. Now, imagine if you could get paid to take this plastic waste and turn it into something valuable that you could charge money for. Trash to cash. And remember, you're the only one in the world that has this magic ability. This would sound like a pretty good business, wouldn't it? I mean, the world produces 400 million tons of plastic per year, so it shouldn't be too hard to take 1% of this plastic waste. I mean, this is plastic waste, for Christ's sake. Less than 10% of it is being recyclable, so there should not be too much competition for it, right? So 400 million tons times 1% is 4 million tons of plastic. If you sell each ton as a new product for, let's say, $1,000 per ton, this is $4 billion of yearly revenues. What would a business like this be worth if it had approximately 50% profit margins? 20 billion? 50 billion? 100 billion? This is pretty much Aduro Clean Technologies in a nutshell. And because barely anybody knows about Aduro and their plastic recycling technology hasn't been commercialized yet, the company's valuation is not $20 billion or $100 billion, but $150 million. That's the market cap of the company today. So that's a 100x to 500x investment opportunity.
I don't believe we have competitors. So I don't believe in the U.S. commercial market we have competition. I don't believe in the U.S. government market we have competition.
I'm hoping you can expand a bit more on the competitive landscape.
With respect to our competitors, we consider them more of a collaborator rather than, first of all, they only own about 1% of the market. There's nothing, to compete with them around that. We don't need to compete with them. We don't consider them as a competitors.
So how do we get there? Well, in order for Aduro Clean Technologies to be worth in the billions of dollars, the company has to commercialize its plastic recycling technology. Also, the economics need to be somewhere in the neighborhood of what it is shown in the Deboro Capital Analyst report. With that being said, we don't need to get to commercialization in order for Aduro's stock price to go up from here. I mean, from the time that I got involved in 2022, the stock is up 300%, and yet the technology hasn't been commercialized. And that's because of milestones and exposure. For example, when I got involved, people were worried if Aduro's technology was going to work on a continuous scale. The technology worked in a lab, on a batch scale, but they had doubts whether it was going to work on a continuous scale. Then Aduro demonstrated that the chemistry worked on a continuous scale. Also, the company started working with companies like Shell Oil and Total Energies. These milestones de-risked the company and gave investors confidence to buy the stock, which resulted in the share price going up. Now that the chemistry works on a continuous scale, investors have another concern. Will it work on a bigger unit? And Aduro is in the process of addressing this. The company is building a pilot plant, which is on track of being completed by the end of Q3 2025, so just a few months away. After this, Aduro will build a demonstration plant. I believe that with each milestone and achievement, more and more investors will be convinced to buy into the story. Considering the management owns 39% of the company, there are only 18 million shares available to purchase. And 18 million shares is not a lot of shares for a company that claims to be solving one of the biggest problems that our humanity is facing. Every day, more and more investors are discovering Aduro. What happens when millions of potential investors wake up and learn plastic is a big problem, Aduro has the best solution in the world, the company should be worth in the billions of dollars, but the market cap is only $150 million? Listen, you have two choices. One, you can ignore Aduro and find every excuse in the book not to study the company. Or two, you can roll up your sleeves, do your due diligence, and hopefully you will come to the same conclusion as me that Aduro is the best investment opportunity in our lifetime. Listen, there's a reason why I personally own 1% of Aduro. Yes, I own 1% of all of the Aduro shares. That being said, thank you for watching and see you next time.